Pull up to the gates in 1600 on the map. Supposed to be the people's house, I make it like a trap. Marble floors and chandeliers, I'm ballin' to the wall. Power to the people, yeah, I gotta make that call. Trapping for the team, red and white and blue, that's me. Voices on the block, I'm breaking through, I got the keys. I'm in the lobby, yeah, I'm moving like an OG. Posted in the Oval Office in the executive suite. Signing for the fam, yeah, you know my game is strong. Freedom is the banner and I got my chains on. Secret Service watching snipers sitting on the roof. Truth is hitting hard, I bury you inside the booth. Founding father's vision, now I'm flexing with this cash. Big pharma, big tech, turn these dreams to bags. I'm the voice of the hood, trying to come and storm the gates. Balance in my hands, but the system's overweight. They painted white, yeah, but the stains running deep. Promise they selling it, but you know it ain't coming cheap. Legends walk these rooms, Lincoln, MLK, now it's photo ops. Power plays all day, I'm trapping for the vote. Big Zeus, it's the people's house. Big Zeus, you already know one. Power's in the air. Big Zeus, hey. We knocking on the door. Big Zeus, we here. You wanna hear your soul. Big Zeus, who you think they asking for? They asking for that smoke. People are them players, yeah, y'all think this is a joke. Take it back and write the code. 1600 got your soul. Put my portrait on the wall, they staring at me like I'm cold. Greatest story ever told. I will never ever fall. I'm trapping out the West Wing.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
Make your dreams come true. All I need is a spark. Red phone ringing, but you don't know who is on my line. Got the Constitution speaking, yeah, you know I'm so divine. No stains on my kick and the rally outside, and the gates is locked. This power never divides.
Happy Friday.
1600, yeah, all day, all night. People house is a trap. Got the power, get it back. Money
be on the lookout for it.
Time to clap. Fight for the keys, that's a fact. It's a rap, I'ma bring it back.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Happy Friday once again.
It's the people's house.
Thank you.
Big Zeus.
Big Zeus.
Big Zeus. We wanna hear your soul. Big Zeus.
Be on the lookout. New album is coming, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be called 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. Don't worry about it. It's exactly what the people need, all right? Stay tuned, all right? Let's get this show started, ladies and gentlemen. We do not have all morning. All right? Oh, you can say it's corny all you want, East Texas, but trust me, when I drop 1600 Pennsylvania Ave on you're done, bro. You're done. Just like Snuggie, you don't even want to go live, because you know what I do. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's Friday, day 90. What day is it? 95. Yeah, day 95 of. Oh, that's him leaving the country. Aren't you happy Donald Trump is finally leaving America today? Oh my God, thank you.
I'm on top of my game, head of class. You can tell that I made it. Look at my grass.
Hey, hey, Trash Bait, do you even have grass, bro? Trash Bait doesn't even have grass. He just has a starter house. We've seen his house. Got all these numbers on my spreadsheet. Benjamin Franklin is my bestie. Oh, MAGA Demon, you don't even want to start Friday off like that, MAGA Demon. Relax. Listen to this Trump hater. Here comes the Trump hater right here.
I'ma take off in a spaceship.
I'll tell you what, I haven't gone into Zeus's live in a couple of days.
Yes.
Shit was radical.
Very radical.
It was horrible. I'm like, Zeus has gone way off.
Oh.
It's like deja vu.
You know what's off the rails? Donald Trump's poll numbers.
It's like deja vu.
Oh my God. All right. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the show. Once again, we are back in the Thunderdome. We got to end this week. All right. It's been an incredible week as far as I'm concerned, because, you got to be grateful for the little morsels of goodness that you get. And yesterday, I'm going to still carry on. Donald Trump's poll numbers, ladies and gentlemen, are in the toilet. W to the Democrats. Many of you know exactly why we are gathered here today in the Thunderdome. We have to save this great country of ours from the evil clutches of Donald J. Trump and his legions of MAGA demons who are hell-bent on trying to destroy this great country of ours, right? And they know they're in trouble right now. These Trump supporters, they know they are in trouble. All right, because the numbers speak for themselves. All right, the funding is dried up. Donald Trump, he's not making as much money as he normally makes, so he's coming up with new ways to grift, with those hats. Trump 2028, we all know it'll never happen, but he's doing whatever he can to make money. But before we get into that, let's take care of some housekeeping items. For those of you who do not know who I am, I go by the name Zeus, or as some like to say, Triple H. And why do they call me Triple H, ladies and gentlemen? Well, it's quite simple. The first stage is because I'm honest. I'm the most honest person on social media. There's nobody more honest than me. All right. The second H is, well, because I'm humble. There's nobody more humble than me. Listen, if I get it wrong, I'll be the first to apologize. But here's the thing. Just because your feelings are hurt, it does not mean I owe you an apology. It most likely means you need to sit your special behinds down and continue to listen to this special broadcast, all right? And then the last and the most important of all H's is because I am and will always remain the most handsome. Nice to see you too, alter ego. Even though sometimes I have to ask myself what side of the aisle you're on, it is nice to see that you are still actually actively engaged in what's happening in this great country, because you know what I'm doing, right? I'm giving you the information you need to actually not go out here and do anything ridiculous, all right? And this is for the YouTube audience that watches my video. Make sure you are liking this video, all right, and then make sure you are sharing this video, all right. Zeus. Someone said I gotta work on getting my numbers up on YouTube, and I'm like, oh my god, really? I'll try my best, because there's work I need to do over there as well, so I'll be trying to do that in short order. But in the meantime and in between time, do we have any Trump supporters out there? Are there any Trump supporters? Oh my god, who did that gift on the most handsome? Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. They try to do all these crazy things because they like to screen record me to make me look ugly. But here's the thing, you can do whatever you want. If you're a beautiful person on the inside, it doesn't matter. Or handsome, right? Any Trump supporters out there? Anyone still supporting Donald Trump despite the fact that his poll numbers, I'm telling you, the numbers that Fox is showing, those are the good numbers. I found out it's actually a lot worse, MAGA. Oh no, you're amazing too. Well, listen up. I got this message for all of you MAGA individuals, and I call you demons. And you shouldn't be offended. That's actually me being very, very nice. Because even in the good book, Jesus called those who were possessed, he called them demons, and the demons feared him. So you got to call the demon by what it is, and it's a MAGA demon. If you do not want me to ruin your breakfast, your lunch, your dinner, and everything in between, and we know what's in between that, it's Cheez-Its and Diet Coke, do me a huge favor and just leave this live right now. Go hang out with that fake TikTok host named Snuggles, all right? Because he will lie to you while he's sitting on the back end grifting from you, all right? But I won't lie to you, all right? I have no reason to do that, all right? He'll lie to you, not just him, all of the people he associates with. These are some of the worst people you'll ever deal with. When I'm speaking politically, because they are just, something's wrong with them, all right? So if you do not want me to do that, just leave right now, because it's going to get very, very uncomfortable for you, all right? But I know you don't trust me because I'm a Democrat, so I say this. You don't got to take my word for it. Listen to your leader.
If you're not happy here, then you can leave. As far as I'm concerned, if you hate our country, if you're not happy here, you can leave. If you're not happy in the U.S., if you're complaining all the time, very simply, you can leave. You can leave right now. Come back if you want. Don't come back. It's okay too. But if you're not happy, you can leave.
All right, now that's officially the beginning of the Thunderdome. All right, so you're in here at your own risk, and I am not going to allow a Trump supporter to act like they are somehow a victim at this moment. When you have your dear leader in the White House and you have control over both houses in Congress and you have the Supreme Court, I just can't bring myself to feel sorry for you. I just can't do it, because look at what Donald Trump is doing to harm this great country of ours. I mean, there's just so many examples I could get into them, but I'll do this. I'll start today's show off, first of all, with an update. Donald Trump is leaving the country to go to Rome to see the Pope. All right. So, go to the funeral. go to the funeral because he's no longer here. So thank God that he is no longer able to sit behind that that ridiculous desk and sign those ridiculous executive orders and harm America anymore. So, Donald Trump, do us all a huge favor. Stay as long as you need to, all right? Get as much help as you need over there. And before he left, he gave us these parting words, all right? I got to get it on the record. It just shows you how unhinged and deranged this guy is. And that's him right there, for those of you who are wondering. That's him and that's supposedly Melania. But, I didn't see her turn around and make sure she showed me that it was her, so I still have questions. I may have missed it, but can anyone verify if that's really Melania allowing him to touch her? Because we know he's a nasty man. I mean, someone please look into that.
Funeral of Pope Francis. Some of you are going to go. Anybody going?
Anyway.
And it's going to be very interesting. We're going to meet with a lot of the foreign leaders. They want to meet. Trade deals are going very well. I think Russia and Ukraine, I think they're coming along, we hope. It's very fragile. And Iran, I think, is going very well. We'll see what happens. We're working on plenty of things that shouldn't be worked on, because none of this stuff should have happened. This should have been taken place by Biden. It should have been fixed by Biden.
Biden.
But he couldn't do it, nor can he come close to doing. So, anyway, we're going to Rome to pay our respects, and we'll be leaving that same day. We'll be coming back home tomorrow night. And I'll see some of you all.
He said he's going, and then he's coming right back. He's not even going to stay there. He's not even going to stay there that long. Oh, my God. This has to be the worst news ever.
Otherwise, I'll see you on television.
Meeting this morning. You said you spoke with President Xi. Have you spoken to him since the tariffs? When was the last time?
I don't want to comment on that, but I've spoken to him many times. Yeah. From Japan, I'm getting along very well with Japan. We're very close to a deal.
Really? All right. It's too much going on over there. Donald Trump, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and send him a round of applause. Stay the hell out of America. Stay in Rome. No one needs you. All right. America, actually, in my opinion, is going to do a lot better. All right. So we get a little bit more time, ladies and gentlemen, to keep getting this truth out here, because there's just so much going on. The next thing that I wanted to also go into, obviously, it has to do with his meeting yesterday with the Prime Minister of Norway. Obviously, you heard him just now. Donald Trump cannot stop mentioning President Joe Biden. I just don't get it. He no longer has to campaign, and I get it. Maybe it was a good idea to mention President Biden while you're on the campaign, but someone really needs to tell Trump he is, unfortunately, the president, and that all of the things that he promised that he was supposed to be delivering on, he can no longer continue to blame President Biden. All right, so we're gonna start it off with him once again revealing that he has Biden derangement syndrome, but then we're gonna get into him and his statement to Vladimir Putin. You know, when he told Putin to stop, you actually have to go back and listen to how he is telling Putin to stop. Because I don't know about you, but it's definitely something that I'm very concerned about it. I'm not sure why he is saying stop like this. All right, so what we'll do is we'll start off, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, the Biden derangement syndrome, all right? And then we'll move on to stop Putin. And it has to do, and the reason I say that I'm concerned is because he keeps bringing up this word pressure, all right?
It's the soldiers, and if we can do that. Also, as you know, I got started because the money that's been spent on this war is insane. It should have never happened. And it would have never happened if I were president. But Biden spent $350 billion.
Biden spent $350 billion. We all know that number is not true. That number is not true, just like the numbers he's quoting about all the things he's done in terms of our economy aren't true. Egg prices have not came down 93, 94%. Those numbers are just a flat out lie. Grocery prices have not came down. Those numbers are a lie. And what else? He also talked about energy. Energy prices, they have not came down at all. Those are all just lies. And he knows the American people don't believe him because his poll numbers reflect this. But let's get into him talking about Vladdy. We're going to call him Vladdy, right? Vladdy Daddy. Could you please just stop, Vladdy, all right?
We need that for international
What are you
peace.
expecting of your
And if you
allies?
don't have that, I think it's a big threat to our world. So I think Greenland is very important for international peace. Yeah, please go ahead.
Mr. President, this morning in Truth Social Post, you used the words Vladimir, stop. That seemed like a slightly different message, a personal message.
Personal.
What is your level of frustration with President Putin?
I didn't like
at this
last
point?
night. I wasn't happy with it. And we're in the midst of talking peace, and missiles were fired. And I was not happy with it. That's what I meant. And that's, what he said. I assume that's what you mean.
Sorry,
Yeah.
if the bombs keep falling, will you consider additional sanctions toward Russia, or what will you do if President Putin
I'd
does not
rather answer
respond?
that question in a week. I want to see if we can have a deal. No reason to answer it now, but I won't be happy. Let me put it that way. Things will happen.
Mr. President, why are you not putting more pressure on Russia?
Pressure.
I know a lot of Europeans.
Putting a lot of pressure. You don't know what pressure I'm putting on Russia. They're dealing. You have no idea what pressure I'm putting on Russia. We're putting a lot of pressure.
Can you maybe tell us that?
We're putting a lot of pressure on Russia, and Russia knows that, and some people that are close to it know, or he wouldn't be talking right now. The Prime Minister understands that better than anybody. He wouldn't be talking right now. He's talking, and we're putting a lot of pressure. I think he wants to make a deal. We're going to find out very soon, but it takes two to tango. And you have to have Ukraine want to make a deal too, and they're being hit very hard, and I do believe they want to make a deal.
Okay, so one, Donald Trump, we know you're not putting a lot of pressure on Putin in Russia because you have a very, very difficult time at least showing that through your executive orders, right? We know he's not put one executive order. He's not asked Congress to allocate any additional money to help put pressure on Russia. He's not talking about putting any additional sanctions. So I don't know, once again, what Donald Trump is talking about. But it's, to me, another example of him just lying to his supporters because he has to always project in the minds of his supporters that he's that guy that they worship with his shirt off, dressed up looking like Rambo. But nobody believes this stuff, right? We're gonna get further into the pressure campaign. All right, let's see what else he has to say, ladies and gentlemen. All right, about pressure. All right, and this is as Senator Marco Rubio is talking. He interrupts him to once again get back to the pressure.
We are using a lot of pressure on both. If you think we're just in there because we're not.
And the president wants to stop it. And everyone should be thanking the president for being a peacemaker and trying to save lives. That's what we're trying to do here. It's not our war. We didn't start it, as you know. But we're trying to end the dying. We're trying to end the destruction. And we've shown the path forward. We can see the finish line, but both of them have to get there. We're going to do everything we can to help them get there, but they have to ultimately say yes.
But we are using a lot of pressure on both. If you think we're just in there because we're nice people, and we are nice people, but we're using a lot of pressure on both.
So once again, he's convinced everyone around him that they aren't nice people, but they are nice people in that they are using a lot of pressure. Ladies and gentlemen, this makes absolutely no sense. Donald Trump does not have a plan other than to make Ukraine surrender to Russia. And ladies and gentlemen, it's not going to work because if you really sat back and you think about it and you ask yourself, how many of Donald Trump's plans has he successfully been able to implement? Does anyone know how many of Donald Trump plans he's been able to successfully implement thus far? He's 95 days. 95 days. And the only thing he has left to cling on to say, this is what I've accomplished in my first 100 days. He can't say anything about the border because those executive orders that he's been signing and the acts that he's been doing, they've been illegal, so he can't get the points. He's so low when it comes to mass deportations. He can't say he's doing great on the economy because you could go look at his poll numbers. No one believes he's doing good on the economy. So the only thing he has left now is this so-called deal with Russia. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to go ahead and get straight to it. We're going to warm up the lake of fire, ladies and gentlemen. I hate to burst your bubbles, MAGA, but unfortunately, this Russia thing that he keeps hanging you all out to dry on, right? He keeps making you all believe he's going to get Putin to do something. It'll never happen. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and send Donald Trump and his supporters where they belong, straight to hell.
Silence! You matter, Damon!
All right, and then there's one more thing I need to get out there and address as well, and this has to do with Tulsi Gabbard. You know, I woke up this morning, executive order, a new order from Donald Trump directing the Justice Department to go after Act Blue. How many of you heard about this? He's go after Act Blue. They're doing a lot of illegal things. And so Pam Bondi has that on her desk. And then you get this Tulsi Gabbard. She's sending the DOJ recommendations because there's leaking going on into the media. All right. And so what I want to do is get this on the record and then we'll get to judgment.
The Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, is here. And she's saying this. Deep state criminals, and she puts them on notice, referring to 2 alleged leakers of classified info of the DOJ for prosecution. So
Okay.
2 and more are coming.
2.
Third referral is on the way. Here to
Third.
explain is the Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard. Director, great to see you
What a
in person.
clown show.
So I read about this. You indicated to me this was happening. 2 people have been found to be leaking. A third on its way. Can you give me the nature of the leaks and how you discovered it?
Let's just first of all point out what we know has been the problem for a very long time. One of the reasons why the American people voted resoundingly for President Trump was to root out the kind of politicization and weaponization of intelligence that has really undermined the trust the American people have in the intelligence community and the national security state, but really what also directly undermines our own national security. So I made it very clear to the U.S. Senate, to the American people when I had the honor of being appointed to this position, that we will not allow this to continue. We take this very seriously. It is illegal to leak classified information.
Oh, really?
And so what you're seeing here is me carrying out in the promise and the mandate the American people gave Trump. We conducted our own internal investigation. We have referred them now to the Department of Justice and the FBI for an official criminal investigation.
So she found the leakers, 2 of them, and 1 more is on the way. And she sent it to the DOJ and FBI. So think about the characters involved. It's her, Pam Bondi, and Kash Patel. Good morning, Ari. They are all looking at these leakers, and they have to actually figure out which laws were broken, and then they have to, build enough of a case and then actually bring this case forward and prosecute. Does anyone think that Kash Patel, Pam Bondi, and Tulsi Gabbard, and you should know what? You should also add Donald Trump in there. Do they have the legal knowledge, the legal bandwidth to actually bring this case forward and successfully prosecute it? You might as well add Pete Hegseth into this. But maybe you shouldn't, because one thing everyone knows is that Pete Hegseth is a leaker. Don't we all know Pete Hegseth is a leaker by now? And it's just amazing to me that she's not saying who this third person is. And I gotta say this, if it's not Pete Hegseth, then I just can't take the other 2 seriously at this point, because Pete Hegseth, ladies and gentlemen, and you know what, I'm just gonna get straight to judgment. This story with Pete Hegseth, Keg's Breath, I'm so sorry. Pete Keg's Breath, Whiskey Pete, Whiskey Leaks, whatever you want to refer to him as long as it has some sort of reference to his addiction in it, I'm totally okay with it. This story just gets worse and worse. First, you did it, and then you lied and said you didn't do it. Then, Jeffrey Goldberg releases the evidence that shows you did it. You're in this free fall mode, and ever since this moment has happened where everyone knows you've been a leaker, you're the biggest leaker in the Department of Defense in American history, Pete Hegseth. You're cursing out your generals. He's cursing out our generals, telling them, I will hook you up to I gotta keep it clean because my mom's watching, a blank lie detector test. How could you're gonna talk to generals like that? He added his wife, and so these are 2 group chats we know. And so he's added his wife, his brother, and his lawyer to another one, and he sent them the same, they want to make an argument about whether it's classified or not. It's secrets. It's American secrets. He sent it in another Signal group text. Then I find out yesterday he's using a dirty internet line, all right, so that he could use Signal. And I'm going, how much Signal does this man need? This man needs Signal like he needs a drink. What is he doing on this Signal app? Signal is his kryptonite. This man, Pete Keg's breath, he ordered a booth to be built into the Pentagon so he can, do his interviews, do his makeup and stuff before he gets on the Fox News and starts to lie. I just don't believe Tulsi Gabbard is being honest about what she's doing, because she should have already said, Donald Trump, you need to get rid of Pete Keg's breath because he's the biggest leaker you got in American history, and she has it. So, ladies and gentlemen, what we're going to do, since Pete Keg's breath continues to leak information to he's leaking it all over the place using this Signal addiction that he has, and they're going to start to gaslight us and say, oh, it's not Pete, it's someone else. No, it is not. These people that they're saying are the leakers are the very people that they hired. These aren't Democrats. No. These aren't radical left Marxist, communist, fascist people. No, these are his own hand-picked people. And if that doesn't tell you that there's a problem in the Pentagon, I don't know what is. Ladies and gentlemen, let's warm up the lake of fire and go ahead and send these people where they belong, straight to hell.
Silence, you MAGA demon.
To the people that are in my audience right now getting triggered by the way that I'm running this broadcast, I'll give you a nice little friendly reminder.
If you're not happy here, then you can leave. As far as I'm concerned, if you hate our country, if you're not happy here, you can leave. If you're not happy in the U.S., if you're complaining all the time, very simply, you can leave. You can leave right now. Come back if you want. Don't come back. It's okay too. But if you're not happy, you can leave.
Told you were going to be in the Thunderdome. It's Friday. All right, let's go to the audience real quick, because I didn't really want to have to do this show today. But you know what? I think we're getting a lot of progress done, so I'm going to keep doing it, all right, until I get good and tired. Do we have any Trump supporters out there that are still, well, actually, let me ask it this way, because they're now afraid to admit that they're Trump supporters. They do this new thing. I'm not a Trump supporter. Okay, who'd you vote for? And get quiet for a second. Why does that matter? And then you go, okay, so you don't want to tell us you did. Oh, so you didn't vote? No. Well, because if you say you don't vote, then they go, oh, well, you don't have a voice. So then eventually they'll go, well, I did vote for Donald Trump. Oh, okay. Well, then guess what? If you voted for Donald Trump, you're a Trump supporter. End of discussion. Put a 1 in the chat. Yeah, they say I'm an independent. Put a 1 in the chat if you are a Trump supporter, but I'm not MAGA. Or they'll say, I voted for Trump, but I'm not MAGA. Yeah, none of us buy this. You make your bed, you got to sleep in it. Put a 1 in the chat if you're a Trump supporter, and I'll bring you right on up. All right, and we will help you get to the bottom of whatever it is that you're dealing with. All right, don't worry. I don't bite. I'm a nice person, to be quite honest, compared to what a lot of people say. They say, like my good friend G-Man says, I'm not nice. Like Zeus. I'm nice. Zeus is nice. Put a 1 in the chat and I'll bring you right on up here and we will help you get to the bottom of whatever is going on. Sweet T. Oh, no, I'm not a Democrat. Thank God. Come on up here, Troy Keller. Come on up here, Troy Keller. I love that enthusiasm that you showed in the chat, right? Because what I'll do, number one, we'll get you to come clean about what you are, because I'm asking for you to admit that you're MAGA. I didn't ask you to say whether or not you are a Democrat, but you see, you failed the first test, Troy. I sent you an invite, and you didn't even accept it. So you know what I say? If I invite you up here, and you don't come up here, I just have to assume you're a Russian bot, right? And then I'll say to my mods, please put Troy in a nice little straight jacket, all right? And that way they can learn instead of be a distraction to those of us who are actually here to do what we came to do, all right? So let me try this exercise once again. Is there anyone out there that voted for Donald Trump that is willing to get into the box today, all right, and tell all of us why you did it, despite knowing everything you claim to know, because I can't tell you what you know, right? But I'm going to assume that you believe, and I'm going out on a limb with this one. I'm going to assume you believe you're smarter than all the Democrats. This is how I get into the psychosis of MAGA, right? I'm going to assume you believe you're truly smarter than all the Democrats. You had all this data available to you. You had open AI, you had your friends, you had your girlfriend, your boyfriend, whatever. You had even Google. You had all of these things, and you actually had the capability of listening to things Donald Trump was saying. And you, using the brain power you had, said, that guy, Donald Trump, makes sense. All right. I want to know what's going on up in your head right now. Yeah. Why do Democrats take up? Okay, there you go. There you go. Come on up here. Let me go. The Theo, come on up here, Theo. Come on up here, Theo. We can answer. I can answer any of your questions, Theo. All right. But if you're not going to actually get into the box, then my mods, you see what Little Hawk is doing? The only way out of the straitjacket is to actually send me a guest request. All right. If you're not going to send a guest request and actually be an adult about this, why waste any time answering your questions in the chat? You could come up here if you got the ability to go live. All right, so let's go to the box. Who do we got first, ladies and gentlemen? Who do we got first? Uh-oh. I invited them up here, but then they disappeared. Isn't this something? This is incredible. Let me go ahead. Put a 1 in the chat if you're a Trump supporter. All right, or should we just go ahead and continue to make this a Democrat show only? All right, because you know what they'll say. They'll go, oh, it's an echo chamber. It's an echo chamber. Well, who made it the echo chamber? You back a party that needs Troy Law? Come on up here, Troy. Come on up here, Troy. You back the party that is in need of men. Troy, if you don't mind, please come on up here. Because this other person, Nana, I'm trying to bring you up and it's not working, Nana. But Troy, why don't you come up here, champ? Come on up here, Troy. You said that with your whole chest. All right. So if you got ability to come up here and actually explain that to us, I'd be more than happy to do it. All right. You got to send me a guest request now. Little Hawk gotcha. Little Hawk gotcha, Troy. Ain't that something? All right. Good morning, Juju. How are you doing?
In 2 to 4 weeks.
My bad. I voted for Kamala. I didn't mean to request. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. You didn't mean to send a guest request?
No, I was trying to subscribe.
Oh, okay. I'm so sorry. But thank you for the subscription. W Juju, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, you know, I try to give people the opportunity. All right. I'm looking in the chat. Do we see anyone out there, mods that are Trump supporters, that are brave enough to come into the box? All right. We want to start the show off the right way. All right. We want to hear the MAGA. We want to hear those MAGA thoughts, so that we can do what we came to do this morning. And you know what I call it? I like to get off. I'm so sorry. A lot of people say, why do you talk to these people? I go, oh, because I need to blast off every morning, all right? And the best way to blast off, ladies and gentlemen, is to debunk a Trump supporter. And know that you told them the truth and that they're going to be crying the rest of the day, all right? So where are these so-called Trump supporters at? Has Zeus totally... W Juju, thank you for the subscription. You know, it's really important that I wake up every day and know that I've hurt a Trump supporter's feelings. It's just something that I think I have to take great pride in doing. And I don't do it in a way to be like mean and spiteful. I do it in a way to make sure they understand that they are the ones that are misinformed. And there's just nothing that they can do to change it except for change what's going on up here in their brain. All right. So I'm listening. Look at, haven't I given them enough time, ladies and gentlemen, to at least get their story together and decide whether or not they want to come up? Yes, Mr. Johnny Stearns. Oh, Vargas, you said that I'm a joke. I think I've dealt with you, Vargas, before, but you don't have the ability to go live. Good morning, Antifa. Nutty.
Good morning.
I guess we're going to just do Democrat Marathon again. Hey, how's it going?
Hey, that's no fun, though.
Well, imagine how they feel right now.
To be fair, every single time, every single day for the last, almost 3 years now, 4 years?
Yeah.
You've been hitting them hard here in the kingdom. And so...
Well, not just me, but all of you.
Of course, but you provide the platform, and that's great. But do you know how when you watch documentaries and you see people trying to climb Mount Everest?
Yeah.
And they always try to get it. They always try to get to the peak.
Yeah.
Because that is the pinnacle of all hikers. Is getting to the peak of Mount Everest.
Correct.
That is exactly what the Trump supporters do, trying to get to the peak of the kingdom.
Thank you. W Nutty in the chat. They want to climb Mount Olympus every day.
And they only get a partial way up, and they're like, man, the altitude is just too high up here. We can't breathe. You've suffocated them.
Yeah.
So that perennial Mount Olympus is just too high. It's higher than Mount Everest, and they just couldn't climb it.
Yeah. Well, how do you climb a mountain with a ladder made of lies? That's what I say.
That's funny that you said that, because I was about to say a mountain that's full of truth cannot be climbed with a ladder of lies. Only, to combat lies, you must tell the truth. And the fact is that you can talk about liberal tears, you can talk about Democrats. I mean, whatever catchphrase they have, we've heard it.
Correct.
We've heard every catchphrase. And I will gladly walk in those catchphrases because I'm happy that I'm woke.
Yep.
I'm very happy about that. And here's the funny part. A great majority of them call themselves Christians.
Yeah.
A great majority of them call themselves Christians. And then I just sit and I wonder, okay, if you are a Christian, the Jesus that you're supposed to follow to be Christ-like,
yeah,
if he were walking the earth today, Zeus, he would be woke.
Would he be forced to have a passport?
To them, yes. Yes. Jesus would be woke, because what you do unto the least of these, you do unto me.
Yeah.
Who are the least of these, Zeus?
The immigrants.
Like, do they not know the scripture that they purport to love?
They don't.
And it's funny because that makes sense now. I'm talking the sense in my own brain right now.
Yeah.
Because the same scripture that they purport to love are the same people who purport to love the Constitution and law-abiding citizens, but yet they vote for a felon.
Wow.
I'm trying to make sense of that all.
Yeah. Yeah.
How do you make sense? How do you make sense of ignorance?
Angus, you can send me a guest request, Angus. I can't invite you, and I don't know if that's because you turned off your thing, so you can't get invited to come up here and have a serious conversation. But if you're not going to get in the box, Angus, I would really appreciate it is if you would just let Nutty and I get this truth out here without trying to distract the rest of the class. All right?
And so, Zeus, while we're waiting for Angus, which he's never going to come up here, by the way, while we're waiting for him, can I just quickly give a PSA?
Sure.
Because not enough of us get in your live and do this, but we need to tap that screen, you guys. Zeus, he never asks anything of us other than just to come up in the live and have a discussion and tell the truth.
Correct.
All right. And we can all do that, right? But at the same time, there's 1.5K people in here. There is no reason this brother shouldn't be at 300, 400,000. Let's go. Tap that screen. But also, I also want to give a PSA with the Trump administration next week or the first week in May. For any of you who are struggling with student loans, if you are in default, get your house in order now because they're coming after you the first week in May.
Wow.
They're coming after you.
Wow.
He's already announced that they're directing, get this, Zeus, he's directing the Department of Education, a department that he's trying to get rid of. He's directing them to go into default and to start getting the money that you owe to the government.
Wow.
And Caroline K. Lovett,
yeah,
in her press conference, you know, with all the indignation that she could muster in her body, said, we are not going to make people who did not decide to go to school and take loans pay for you.
Yeah.
The indignation behind that voice, I just wanted to touch her in the name of Jesus.
Yeah. Get him, Nutty. Get her, Nutty.
So here's the thing. But they didn't have that same energy when this same administration, well, the same person who's leading the administration, under his first term, gave out billions of dollars in PPP loans. And who got those loans, Zeus? Vast majority are people who did not need them. Corporations.
Amen.
Congress people, i.e. Marjorie Taylor Greene, who got $1 million forgiven.
Wow.
She took the money and got it forgiven. But yet, someone with a 30, 40, 50... Zeus, I've been paying on my student loans for 25 years now. And Zeus, do you know I still owe $140,000?
Lord have
on
mercy.
My student lones? See, I wasn't a recipient
of the PPP
the forgiveness.
Yeah,
well, I wasn't a recipient of the forgiveness that President Biden was successful in doing for millions.
Yeah,
you know, I was hoping that I could become a recipient before he left office.
Right,
but I wasn't that fortunate.
Wow,
and you know what? I'm okay with that.
Yeah,
just because my name hadn't come up in the number yet. I'm not mad at those who got theirs forgiven.
Right.
My best friend got his forgiven.
Thank you, Joe Biden.
Yeah, thank you, Joe Biden.
Thank you. That's what he was trying to do.
And so the point is that those of us who have taken out student loans, now Zeus.
Yeah.
I didn't take out $250,000 worth of student loans.
Right. But that's what they gave you. That's what they charged you.
I told you I've been paying for 25 years now.
Yeah. Wow.
And I still owe $140,000. So no, I did my undergrads. I did my grad. I got two master's degrees and I have a doctorate degree. I did 1 year of law school. Yes, I'm a law school dropout. Yes, I am, because I just ran out of brain cells. That didn't cost $250,000. It was up there. It was up there. But a lot of that I financed myself, and then I took out some student loans. Why is it that I owe $140,000 25 years later?
That's a good question. You know, they did some nasty math on you when they did that, but that's just how they did. It's unfortunate that they got in the way of Biden doing what he wanted to do. You know, the Supreme Court, those so-called leftist judges, right? But, you know, MAGA had no problem when that happened. Like they have problems now.
So all of that is just saying, if you have student loans, if you are in default, or if you're close to defaulting, get your affairs in order now, because I would hate to see you become yet another victim again of this Trump administration.
Thank you. That's good news. That's good news. Now, all right, Nutty, I got to move it on, brother.
Thank you, sir. Have a good day.
All right, but I might bring you up depending on who we get. Stay ready, all right?
Oh, I am. I can't wait to see who you get up today.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, W Nutty in the chat. No lies detected. Get your student loan affairs in order. Yes, that is a very, very important thing. Do we have anyone else out there that support? Well, no, I can't say anyone else. Do we have any Trump supporters out there in the audience right now that want to get up here and actually explain why they are still supporting Donald Trump? Put a 1 in the chat. And what I'll do is I'll bring you up, and we will unpack what's going on upstairs, and then we'll get into the rehabilitation part after that. All right. Let me see. I'm going in the chat. Vargas. Vargas, I don't know why. I don't know why. I feel like you and I, we've gone back and forth. I can't even send you an invite, so I don't even know what's going on. Let me go to the. Let's see. Oh! I can send you an invite. Yes. What can we help you with today?
What's up, Zeus?
Well, obviously Trump's poll numbers aren't. Remember, I talked about that yesterday.
And
Why do you think they're not up anymore?
well, I don't know.
Maybe it's time for you to
They don't affect me.
maybe it's time for you to issue the apology to all of us, because you've done an outstanding job trying to defend the indefensible. But I think we're at a point now. The first 100 days, he's not going to deliver on anything, right?
Well, it depends.
See, this is easy. This is easy. I think you're brave for getting in the box and help.
That man that was talking about school loans, he just got used by the system, plain and simple.
What does that have to do with what we're talking? What does that even mean? Number one, I don't know what you're saying.
That's when you go to school, it's all set up that way for a reason.
Oh,
you don't get it.
So you don't think going to school is important?
I didn't go to school, and I got a better job than most of those people.
Is that?
I work construction, huh?
So do you not think? So you don't think actually learning is important as long as you got some money?
Learning is important, but I don't think the school loans are a nice thing. My sister's the same way.
Well,
she still can't pay them off.
Oh, okay, all right.
It's a joke.
So do you think like having money in your pocket means that you're a smart person? I guess that's what I'm trying to get at.
I didn't say that. I'm a father. I'm a provider. I'm a hard worker. I don't know what you want me to say.
Okay, well, I think first of all, anyone that has to go to college and then they end up taking out a loan.
I'm married to a white person that has school, but she paid off her loans. She's in the director in financing, so
Yeah. Well, all I can say is this: a lot of times, these lenders, they actually end up taking advantage of people. In a lot of circumstances, getting an education is a way out of poverty. You do understand that, right? That dynamic is pretty real. And so what I call it is predatory lending, all right? But that doesn't just happen with education. That could happen anywhere, right?
Right.
So I don't think you should bash someone for getting their not. Oh, okay, because it sounded like you did.
No, I'm not bashing, but people are the system uses it. My sister's the same. I've told her this over and over. I mean, you go to school and you get a job. You get a master's and you're still only making a certain amount. How are you ever supposed to pay that off? That's the question I want to know.
Well, everyone has a different side of this, right? There's other people who go to school, they get their education, they get a loan, and they actually end up making a lot of money, right? So it's on both sides.
So this was the first time I voted non-democratic. I'm not with. There's too many lazy people that are not illegal, that are from here, that get free shit. They don't do.
Well, keep it clean. Keep it clean. Hold on.
They get a free pass to sit back and just chill because they're lazy. Come on, man.
And do you think those? And so you think those are Democrats that are doing that, or do you?
And I'm in Chicago. Yeah, it's Democrat.
Oh, so no Republicans in these red states that are draining resources from blue states. All of them are up and working. These are the people that are willing to work in the factories in your mind.
Listen, I got people that get lean card and guess what? They're struggling right now to get that. You know why? Because they're asking them to get a part-time job, which is right. You cannot just sit back and do nothing.
So it sounds to me like that's a personal issue, and that's something that maybe people need to deal with one-on-one, but I don't think you should ruin it for everybody else. There's a lot of people who need these social safety nets out here. And I got to say this, though. Do you honestly think Donald Trump is doing the right thing right now?
I don't agree with everything Trump does. Are you going to agree with every single thing that every
Don't bring
president?
him up. Don't bring up Joe Biden. But my point
I'm
to you
not
is
going to
this.
bring up Joe Biden. I voted for him, but his time was up, regardless what it is. Trump won the election. I mean, there's nothing, you know what I mean? He won by a lot.
Okay, well, here's the thing, though. As much
People
as
just
you,
want to change. You know what it is, Zeus? I'm
the
going to be
issue.
honest.
What is it?
People are willing to risk their vote to just see what was going to happen, and maybe a lot of them are against it. I'll be honest with you. They probably are against their vote now. But me, it's not going to affect me. You know why? Because I grind. Every day I grind. It don't never stop.
No. And I got to stop you. You know what I got to do, Vargas? Number one, I'm noticing that the amount of intensity that you have now, it's not like it was after Trump won. And I understand, huh? And you said that it's not going to affect you, but I have to push back. I got a video on my page. CEOs, Walmart, Target, Lowe's, they met with Trump and they told him his tariffs will lead to empty shelves by summer. How could you sit here and say that? How could you sit here? Because if it's about money, the CEOs clearly have more money than you and I, and they are going to feel it. So for you to say it's not going to affect me, for you to say it's not going to affect you, I don't believe it. I believe that you are at a point now where you realize, and you're trying to basically make yourself feel good about the vote. You're trying to make yourself feel good about the vote you did, right? Instead of just admitting you made a huge mistake. Because you wouldn't be dealing with any of this if you would have voted.
I had one for Kamala and one for Trump.
You had what?
I didn't know something about her. You know, you got to take a chance. That's what most people did.
You know what they say? They say ignorance of the law is no excuse. The burden is really on the American people to educate themselves and make informed decisions. All right. I mean, you can get your,
I never liked school, man. I've always been a hard worker.
Yeah, but that doesn't excuse you from having to be able to think for yourself. So let me finish saying what I was saying.
How does an educated person with school separate from a hardworking person? Like, what's the difference there with a well-educated person?
Well, it has a lot to do with the skills and the subject you were educated. I mean, to be honest, if you're an expert in whatever it is you do, then you are an expert in that, but that doesn't make you intelligent on everything else. But I want to get back to what I was saying to you about the vote you did. You're trying to make yourself feel a lot better about, voting for Donald Trump and getting it wrong, right? And that's where a lot of you are clearly here. But I think you got to do a lot better of a job. You have to actually say, I made a mistake, right? And you got to be willing to do that. And you can't continue to go around here saying that it's not affecting you when everyone can see that it's actually affecting you. You get what I mean?
That's in like groceries and stuff?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, groceries are high. I mean, that's true.
Egg prices.
Yes.
Yes. So it is affecting you. And the mandate, you remember when he first got sworn in, you all were using this word mandate. You notice that hasn't been said a lot lately.
Because of groceries, honestly, I didn't vote for him because of that.
I know why you voted. I know why you voted for him, or as I like to say, I know why you voted against Kamala Harris. I know why. But you also have to acknowledge that that decision is why you are going to suffer. All right?
All right. So I'm in Chicago. I'm in like the bad areas. This is another example why I voted for Trump. Have you ever been in Chicago or no?
Only flying through.
Or have you ever been in the neighborhoods, the bad areas, or no?
Why would I have? Why would I leave? Oakland, why would I leave Oakland, California? Vargas. Why would I leave Oakland, California? Think about this, to go to Chicago and post up in someone else's hood.
Is Chicago blue or?
I can't hear you.
Is Chicago?
It's blue. It's the blue.
Okay.
And it's Illinois, not Chicago, but I get what you're saying.
Illinois, whatever. Why is every place that's bad in Chicago destructive? It's like horrible. They never do anything for those people when those people have voted blue, always.
I disagree with that. I disagree with that. So you're trying to say crime rates?
Crime? No, neighbor.
Because
How do
crime
you
happens
say
everywhere. Crime
Hispanic
happen.
and black areas are
Listen. Crime
horrible.
crime happens everywhere. I kid you not. I have a
I'm
good
talking
friend.
about crime, Zeus. I'm talking about stores. You can't get nothing. Everything's caged up. Like if you're going in a jail cell, like to buy something. Like everybody, like it's been like that for years and years.
So you're talking about
The
Are
neighborhoods
you talking
there's
about
drugs
poverty?
everywhere. They've never done anything for those people. For us, never. Why do
Vargas,
you think so many
Vargas,
people?
you're looking down on people that are obviously, in your opinion, less fortunate, perhaps. And this is where the manipulation is taking place. So if you don't know American history, right, then you'll look at a situation like that and think, how did this? Why are they acting like this? You know, when people have been traumatized, there's consequences for that. Are you aware of that?
Yes.
Yeah.
You're not.
So what you're to me when I see these impoverished communities, right? It's a reflection of where the United States has failed. You know what I'm trying to say? It's a reflection of the failures of this country. Unfortunately, we don't have a lot of people with goodwill and good hearts, united hearts, like George Washington said, right? And so when you turn your back on a group of people, it's easy to demonize these people. But you're not looking at, like I was trying to bring up in these red states. I get videos, I get links every day. This is happening in these churches. You know what I'm talking about, right? These people have been released to go continue to cause harm on the community. Donald Trump pardons these criminals and lets them terrorize America. And you all seem to have this incredible ability to turn a blind eye to all of that stuff.
I don't agree with that.
But y'all have an incredible ability to turn a blind eye to all this crime going on within these red states, and then just want to say, well, it's the blue states, and it's the black on black crime and all that. I'm like, you know what? If that's where your microscope is pointed, that's all you're going to see. But you might want to dial it back a little bit and look at the entire picture. You get what I'm trying to say? Because the Democrats at least the Democrats are trying to offer solutions in terms of programs and resources.
You got to realize why a lot of your people switch. There has to be something there. You just don't think about it. You just want to.
Why do you think? Because you're not listening to me. Why do you think? And I already know the answer. I know why a lot of people switched. They're just lazy intellectually. They don't follow politics the way that they should. And so outside looking in, okay, you're going to see more lies coming from Donald Trump. He's going to look a little more enthusiastic than, Joe Biden. Yeah, okay, Kamala Harris ended up replacing him. You get a little suspicious. You feed him a little conspiracies about that. Okay, yeah, I'm going to go vote for Donald Trump. But it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense, Vargas, because if you think about it, how could a person who lived through Donald Trump's first term ignore all the failures and go and ask to sign up for that ride all over again? How could a person do that? That's the part that I don't get.
A lot of things that agree and disagree. At the end of the day, a lot of people flip, and that's even if they regret their choice, what can they do now?
So your question is, if they regret their vote now, what can they do? That's deep. That's deep. You know what you can start doing is apologizing. That's easy. That's cheap. That's free. Why do you regret your vote?
I don't regret it, man.
You said if people regret their vote. That was your statement.
People that were Democratic that voted Trump because they were just wanting something to see what was going to happen. Yeah, they regret it. They probably see it's not going to be as easy as they thought. Right.
So let me ask you it this way. If you were to start dating somebody and then you realize this person is bad news, what do you do? Do you keep investing years into this?
No. You gotta man. A lot of relationships. You mean relationships are like that? You gotta man up. You gotta get out of there.
That's the whole thing I'm trying to get you to understand. But I'm not sensing you're doing that just yet, and you're not helping people to realize. That's why I do this show every day, because I understand what it takes
I don't have
to.
that issue, Zeus.
Okay,
I love
so
my family. I got kids in sports. I got.
I was using that as a hypothetical, okay? Because
Oh, I mean,
you're talking
I
about
live
people
the
who
life.
voted. You're talking about people who voted for Donald Trump, who are now starting to open up and see, yeah, it's probably not going to turn out like I thought it would be. What do you do in that moment? Do you continue to say, well, I'm going to just have faith, or do what they say, trust in Trump? Or do you actually start to think, maybe this is a good time to reconsider what I'm doing, and you know what, count my losses and get up out of this? Which one? Vargas, I think we lost connection. So what I'll do is this, Vargas, I think we lost connection, champ. Ladies and gentlemen, W Zeus in the chat, and I had to W Zeus Vargas get your connection together, but I think I'm starting to feel a lot better, because in a weird and a roundabout way, ladies and gentlemen, Vargas is admitting that he regrets voting for Donald Trump. Because he admitted the economy isn't doing as good as he thought it would be. All right, it's not affecting me, but okay, it is affecting me. Yeah, because guess what? Even if it's not affecting you, Vargas, you might have friends and family members that it's affecting, right? They might not be able to get to their jobs and stuff like that. So guess what? Hey, Vargas, can I borrow some money? You're going to start hearing a lot more of those. If I were you, Vargas, honestly, you better quit telling people around you that you're making all this money right now, because those people who aren't making that kind of money, bro, especially after Trump cut their water off, they're going to be hitting you up asking you for a loan. Ladies and gentlemen, why won't we do this? Is he worthy of Lake of Fire? Yes or no, ladies and gentlemen? Vargas, Lake of Fire. I don't know. Where do we do? Is this Lake of Fire material, or should we cut him some slack because he's starting to come around and it's affecting him? Which one, ladies and gentlemen? Let me see. I gotta do what the people say do. Yep. If we get over 100, I have no other choice. All right. But okay. We no slack. Okay. Someone said fire. I'm not seeing over 100 though. So ladies and gentlemen, Vargas, you may have done something incredible. Uh-oh. How many yeses can we get, ladies and gentlemen? Vargas. Woo. You know what? I added them all up together, ladies and gentlemen, and I think. Okay. Are we over 100? I've warmed it up. If we get over 100, Vargas, you gotta go. I'm looking. Oh, okay. If you add up all the polls that have recently passed, Vargas, you gotta go, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to give Vargas a Lake of Fire round, because obviously, Vargas, you can do a lot better of a job admitting that you made a terrible mistake voting for Donald Trump. Ladies and gentlemen, let's send him straight to hell.
Silence, you MAGA demon.
Yeah, there's not going to be an easy path forward, honestly. Let's move it along, ladies and gentlemen. Alrighty then, let's see, who do we have next? Who is this? Antonia. Good morning. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing okay. What can I help you with?
I just wanted to say I think it was yesterday evening, I was listening to Parker, and some of these MAGA Trump supporters, the way they contort to continue to support Trump is insane. So this one girl was saying we have to crash the economy and go into a recession. So we stop purchasing things to fix a trade deficit so Trump can build it back better.
Really?
I'm not even joking.
That's like telling me, we got to get this brand new car, right? And there's this wall. And what we got to do is we got to crash it into this wall, right? So that we can then turn around and have the insurance company, American people, pay for it to be fixed again, so that then we can say, look, Trump knows how to fix cars. Does that make sense?
It makes no sense. The problem is they don't understand trade deficits, that we have more purchasing power than Vietnam or South Korea or Cambodia. They don't understand that. So they see a trade deficit as how Trump proposes it, is that we're getting ripped off.
Ain't that something? Like, for instance, they talk about coffee, right? There's a trade deficit with the coffee, right? Is the United States ever going to have the ability to produce coffee like all those other countries do? You know, in
No,
Latin America.
they don't understand how they don't understand geopolitics. They
Nope.
don't understand how certain countries can produce things. She was saying that China is taking our money and manufacturing natural resources. I mean, they don't get that. That's why there is global trade, because countries have natural resources we all use for different
Wow.
things.
Wow. You're right. These people, they turn themselves into all kinds of things, all kinds of devices. Some of them are nasty devices they turn themselves into. Keep it clean, all right? But they do this to just try to make it seem like they're intelligent, but they don't understand. It actually makes them seem very, very unintelligent, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
So,
it's sad.
are you sensing from where you are, cuz are his supporters starting to regret, in your opinion, voting for him? Because it's getting hard to actually get them to come up here and actually talk about this now.
So I live in Chicago. So we're a blue state, blue city. Because if you really actually look at Illinois,
Yeah.
everything surrounding Chicago is pretty red.
Right.
The Trump supporters, I do know, they just continue to contort. They're like, it's a good time to purchase stock. Look at the stocks went up 10%, but they don't understand 10% of 100 is different than 10% of $10.
Thank you. And that 100 is going to be a long way away from ever possibly returning. In some cases, businesses aren't able to even bounce back. They're done. We are to me it feels like we're picked up where we left off when he was president the first time with the pandemic, right?
Yes.
The
And
economy
I
was
do
a mess,
blame-
huh?
I do blame the media for some of this stuff, because although maybe we all don't agree with everything Biden did, our economy from COVID bounced back better than any westernized country. Were things expensive? Yes, but we still had purchasing power. Wages were going up, maybe not exactly how much we wanted with inflation, but we were bouncing back.
Yeah.
And all people could see was Trump saying things are expensive, things are expensive, things are expensive. We'll wait to see how things are going to be really expensive when you have tariffs on every country imported that we import things from. I'm in healthcare. Hospitals and clinics and surgical centers are freaking out because all of our stuff comes from China.
But remember, the previous guest said it's not affecting him.
It
These
will
people
when
don't.
he needs medicine, when he's sick, and hospitals don't have it because it's too expensive to get, or we're not shipping it because they're not sending it to us. When you need an antibiotic for something that's produced in India or China and they're not sending us anything, and all you needed was a pill and you die from a stupid infection because we can't get that stuff.
So
We
wait a
don't
second. We
have-
get medicines and stuff like that from other countries. None of this stuff is homegrown.
No, we don't have the natural resources for a lot of these medicines.
Wow.
We don't have the manufacturing. People think that we're going to bring back manufacturing to the United States. Say we do, it's going to be all AI and robots. The jobs that manufacturing is going to have, it's not going to be somebody out of high school. It's going to be somebody with an education in mechanical engineering, electrical engineering, computer engineering. It's not going to be somebody who's going to work on an assembly line.
Hey,
Those
Ken.
things are done. Even in Germany, that produces things, it's all robotics.
Wow. Hey Ken, I had this MAGA demon in here. His brother Ken, he has a degree in he said political science. What you're saying is that Ken won't be able to do any of this manufacturing stuff, like with AI, with that political science degree, even though he supports Trump.
Yeah. What's he going to do? What's he going to manufacture? Does he know robot or AI, or does he know any of that? Maybe there'll be 5 people on the assembly line making sure those robots are working okay, but they're not going to be on there. This is not going to be an I Love Lucy when you're trying to pack the chocolate and she's trying to eat it because she can't keep up. Robots can keep up.
Someone said, so y'all want to keep depending on China. What are you complaining about? Antonio, could you educate that demon? They can't come in the box and ask
We
you
have all
to.
the natural resources here. China has natural resources. They can do and make things cheaper than we can here. People who want manufacturing here, you really want to pay $300-400 for a pair of Nikes when you're already bitching that they're $130?
Keep it clean. Keep it clean. Keep it clean. Got you. But yeah, please get on them.
We have more purchasing power than other countries because we don't manufacture things, because we're more industrialized, meaning we get educated more.
Yeah, China does have natural resources. They're asking, you must be stimulating these people's minds because what you're saying, it sounds foreign to them.
Yes, where do you think we get the things to make our weapons? From the natural resources from China. So you talk about you want to defend us. China's not going to send us the natural resources to build our missiles and our bombs and everything. I mean, Trump thinks it is 1920 and everything revolves around the United States. That's not what it is. We're globalized and there's free trade. One, to keep the world at peace because we all need each other.
Correct.
And to help each other continue to get better.
Amen. Yeah.
But Trumpsters are so in this cult that I truly believe if he killed one of their kids or unalived one of their kids, they would be okay with that.
You think so?
I mean, they defend him for everything. Look at their retirement accounts. They're zero. And we have this girl yesterday who's saying it has to go to zero so we can build back better. Yeah, when it goes to zero, you're not going to be doing so good.
Nope. It's not coming back. I mean, that just shows me they don't value themselves. They don't care. They look in the mirror and they say, I don't like who I am. And only person to make me feel better about who I am is Donald Trump. And this is what they're doing. They're willing to give this guy everything they have. And it's embarrassing.
There was some study I was reading yesterday. I didn't finish the whole thing, but it was talking about how his cult, his people like Charlie Kirk and everybody, they're going after these college kids and these white men because as women continue to get educated, they don't need to rely on men to take care of them. And it's becoming, they feel inferior or not like men. So they are trying to target them to tell them society is doing this to you instead of trying to say, hey, you need to get educated and be better and have manners. And it's not the 1920s and everybody can get educated and be equal. They're teaching them that no, society's putting you down. They're putting you down. They're not allowing you to get better.
So they're not understanding they're being manipulated in this entire process. They're
Correct.
just pawns on the chessboard.
I mean, why is Charlie Kirk somebody who dropped out of junior college, which is fine. Not everybody makes it to college. Not everybody can do that. Some people go into the trades and do better than some people in 4-year degrees and master's degrees. But why is he going to college campuses telling these kids they don't need a college education?
Wow. That's a good
But
question.
they're going to work manufacturing when it's going to be all robots and they can't even take care of the robots?
He's setting them up for failure, it seems like, Antonia, and they don't even care. These people, I have nothing else to say, but you know what? A hard head makes for a soft. You know what, all right, my good friend? We got to move it on, all right? But ladies and gentlemen,
thank you.
Let's
keep
give
doing what you're doing, because
Thank you.
when you do educate these people who are listening, it can stimulate, like, hey, maybe they're right. Let me look into this. Let me research this. Because nobody should be listening to anybody on the internet and believing 100% of it. Got to look into it, research it, look at the studies, look at what's going on.
W. Antonia, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you give her a nice follow, all right? Because I tell you, she's doing an outstanding job debunking all of these Trump supporters' lies. And you know you've ruined their morning this morning, their breakfast this morning with that truth that you just gave them. How do you feel about that?
They need to hear it.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, W. Antonia, ladies and gentlemen, no lies detected.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All righty then. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's see. Kabira, did you say you had some breaking news to share with us? All right, where are you at? Come on up here real quickly and share it with us. All right, we need to hear it. All right, if you can. All right, let me see. Because this is getting out of hand, ladies and gentlemen. This is getting completely out of hand. Oh, where did you go? I thought you were here. Oh my goodness. Where did you go, Kabira? Are you there? Let's see. Let me see. I think you said you sent. Okay, there you go. Yeah. Come get this. Let's get this breaking news. All right. I need to hear what you're saying happened, because I don't want to start nothing if there doesn't need to be anything. What do you got for us?
Yes, the FBI Director Kash Patel just had an arrest for a Wisconsin judge he says that the judge had obstructed immigration process.
Really?
Exactly. It's just saw it right now on the news. Just saw it. So I mean, wow, how
FBI
crazy is
arrested
that?
Judge Hannah Duggan out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin on charges of obstruction after evidence of Judge Duggan obstructing an immigration arrest operation last week. We believe Judge Dugan intentionally misdirected federal agents away from the subject to be arrested in her courthouse, Eduardo Flores Ruiz, allowing the subject, an illegal alien, to evade arrest. Thankfully, our agents chased down the perp on foot, and he's been in custody since. But the judge's obstruction created increased danger to the public.
I mean, really, if you think about it, how much sense does that make? Have you ever heard of a judge obstructing an immigration process? Have you ever heard of a judge warning someone who had to come before them that you better hit it?
Wow.
So, yeah, that's where we are now.
Wow. You know what? I am just blown away at this. What a shame. Yeah, this is weaponization of the DOJ.
Exactly. What this is going to do is put fear in judges' hearts that they can be arrested for following the law on an immigration process. I mean, I've never known of a judge to warn someone that they're coming to arrest you. So, do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's crazy. It's crazy out here.
Well, we're going to have to get some more information on that. And we need to make sure this doesn't happen again, ladies and gentlemen. Well, you know what? I don't know what I'm going to do. That actually made me very angry, Kabir. That made me very angry today. And we got to do something, all right? We got to make sure that these kind of activities, legally speaking, we get them addressed and remedied as soon as possible. Because that makes absolutely no sense. If the judge is doing their job, when do people start getting arrested for doing their job?
Exactly. I mean, it's crazy. There are no words in the English language to describe what is going on. So what does that mean? If you don't like a ruling by the Supreme Court, you're going to have one of those judges
and you know that's where this is ultimately going to end up. This is eventually going to be adjudicated by the Supreme Court. And obviously it'll have to be reversed. And so with that being said, it's just to me amazing. I see it in the chat right now. MAGA thinks this is a good thing, right? You guys think this is a good thing until it happens to them.
Exactly. It, like I said, it prevents judges from doing their job. And it was something else I was thinking, but you know, I forgot it that quick. I just think it's horrendous.
Yeah.
I really do.
Wow.
You know, it like I said, it'll put the fear in a judge. Where will you stop?
Yeah.
Where will you stop?
Exactly.
No,
Well, we're going to keep getting this truth out here, all right? And you know what? Everything happens for a reason, unfortunately, but I think sooner or later, the truth will continue to come out, and people are going to start having to make very, very difficult decisions in their life, especially MAGA, because you know there's this saying: if you allow it to happen to one, you got to allow it to happen to all, and eventually it's going to happen to you. It's a matter of time, MAGA. It's a matter of time before this all happens to you, and then guess what? Where are you going to go?
Exactly.
All right.
Okay, Zeus. So I just wanted you to.
Yeah. Thank you for the breaking news. I really do think that's very important for people to hear stuff like that is going on, because I was actually watching. You know, I watched the CNN yesterday, and they were getting upset that Democrats are referring to Donald Trump as the mustache man. Can you believe that this is actually a thing?
Yeah, I saw that. Bill Maher was upset because he Curb Your Enthusiasm. I forget his real name.
Yeah.
He said that Bill Maher meeting with Trump is akin to sitting down with Hitler or Schittler or Schmittler, excuse the language.
All of them. You got it. Yeah.
So, and it's pretty much true, even though he hasn't done some of the atrocities, right?
Yeah.
But if you look at the things that he is doing, right? Sending people without due process to a faraway lands. Now, I was listening to a live last night, and all of a sudden, oh, you Democrats care about due process. No, everyone should care about due process. Everyone. Otherwise, they just pick you up and put you in jail. That's the reason why you have the Fourth and the Fifth Amendment. You have these rights.
Yeah.
You know. So I don't know, Zeus. All I can say is, people, be careful. Carry your real ID or a passport. Know how to move and groove through the streets, and just be careful.
All
That's
right.
the best advice I can give.
All right. Well, thank you for those good words of encouragement. All right. And then we're going to continue to move it along. All right, ladies and gentlemen, W. Kabira in the chat. No lies detected. See, this is what's going on out here, ladies and gentlemen. It's a show of force. People are out here and they're going, what's going on in this great country of ours? Why are the Democrats saying these things? We've been right about the whole thing. Paul, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm all right. Did you vote for Trump?
The toilet.
Huh?
I don't drink from the toilet. I wouldn't vote for him.
I didn't quite catch that.
I said I don't drink from the toilet.
Oh, okay. I guess that means no, right?
No.
Thank you. But what do you got for us?
I just wanted to say something. You know, the one thing that this country refuses to admit is that we're not the greatest country in the world. We're not even the greatest country in North America. If you ask any Trump supporter, what year were we great? They can't admit it. And part of this is American exceptionalism, right?
Yeah.
When we're little, we're raised in American flag diapers. We wake up and we eat our Freedom Wheaties. And we do the Pledge of Allegiance before we have breakfast.
Like this.
And then we feed our pet bald eagle before we leave the house. And then we go to work with 5,000 American flags with the Constitution painted on there. It's an absolute sham.
Yeah.
And they can't understand that maybe the American flag that they view as a sign of freedom, maybe, just maybe, to a woman or an Asian American or a black person, maybe that's a symbol of oppression. So for them, the caucasity of them, oh, it's great. Well, yeah, because of your demographic, because of my demographic, because of my pigment.
Yeah.
But for everyone else, they can't accept the fact that not everybody has the same privileges that they do. And they refuse to see that.
Ain't that something?
Yeah, and it's really very simple. Is this country was just, and I don't have to tell you this.
Right.
This country was designed for 21-year-old landowning white men. And if this is such a Christian nation, why is it that black people were counted as 3/5 of a person? Were they made in the shadow of God?
Oh.
Tell me when it was a Christian nation when people couldn't go to church.
Oh.
Tell me when it was a Christian nation when people couldn't go to church and worship God, when they couldn't drink from the same water fountain, when they couldn't sit on the same bus, when women didn't have credit, couldn't get no fault divorce, when Asians were in internment camps. What a great Christian nation. We weren't, and we never have been. If that's a Christian nation, then I don't want to be part of it. What kind of religion is that?
Me either. See, they did all of those things, those very evil atrocities. They did it in the name of God, right? And then they sit back right now, and then they try to say, oh, but we're Christians and we care about the children.
Well, listen, here's what it is. Those same people 2,000 years ago crucified Jesus in the name of God. The only difference between now and then is that they didn't own red hats made in China. There's no
you, Paul. The only difference is the red hats made in China.
And you know why? Because Jesus wouldn't conform to their religious ideology. So they resorted to what they know and what they do. Look at January 6th. They resorted to violence. And when they were given a chance, they said, no, we don't want this weak little sissy. We don't want the guy that cleans people's feet with his hair, who feeds the poor, who cures the sick. We want Barabbas. We want to be an alpha male. And what happened in November? Once again, they chose Barabbas. And after we had, and the reality is, and they don't want to say it, is once they saw a black man sitting behind the Resolute desk instead of picking their cotton, they went back to what they know. They chose the plantation owner again. And
you're talking about Barack Obama.
Yeah, that triggered a lot of people. They couldn't handle it. Tell me I'm
So
wrong.
this is still the blowback because they often say Obama was the most divisive president.
Why? Because he
Why
was
do they
black?
say that?
Because he was black. What? Why? Because he wore a tan suit? Imagine if Barack Obama cheated on Michelle or had felonies or stole from cancer charities. But if it's a white guy, he gets a pass because, nobody's perfect.
Do you think that that's why they're mad at Joe Biden, low key, because he worked with Obama? Is this still kind of the
They're they're mad at everybody. They need to be the victim every day of their life. CRT, DEI, BLM, the Summer of Love, her emails, his laptop, the tan suit, green M&Ms, Bud Light. They all have the platinum white victim card dipped in gold. They need to, and don't kid yourself, at some point, they're going to claim that their Christianity is being oppressed. It's going to happen because they need to be the victim of everything. And why is that? Because
Why?
they live in Alabama, right? They have no money, no health care, they're missing their teeth. And what do? Instead of taking responsibility, they blame the libs because they elect people that say, you know what, Bob, it's not your problem that your life sucks. It's that person's problem. The guy that wears a blue, that's a Democrat. That's what it is. They will be on the side of a freeway eating garbage barefoot with no food, no health care, and they will still vote for Republicans as long as they get to own the libs.
Wow. That's wild that you said that this is what they do. But as you were describing that, I literally started seeing flashes of people doing that, and I thought to myself, you know what? Those are Trump supporters. They would do these kind of things, even though they know that's not true. Or so is there any way that these folks that are in those kind of situations that are being fed these lies, is there anything
No,
they can do to get out of this, or is this
no.
pretty much a done deal for these
You
folks?
could tell the reality is you could tell a little child that the pan is hot. At
Yes.
some point, little children need to burn their hands, and right now, they're going to have to burn their hands. They're going to have to lose their jobs. They're going to have to be homeless. And I don't care because they only voted for themselves. They didn't see, and listen, I have an aunt in my life that is a victim of SA. Okay.
Yeah.
He was crying on the phone with me. I cannot believe this country didn't see that as a red line. And then he nominates Pete Hegseth, who has multiple children out of marriage. Then he nominates Matt Gaetz, who has sex with a minor. Then he nominates RFK, who had so many affairs that his wife unalived herself. That wasn't a red line.
And the
They
Tate
didn't care.
brothers.
Right. And when I go on lives, I ask people, I'm like, you didn't see that as a red line. They're like, well, yeah, but I like his policies because they don't care about anybody else. That's why they're not Christians because they're the most selfish people instead of selfless. They view compassion, empathy, thinking of others as a sign of weakness.
W
That's why they're
Bounds.
attracted to an orange guy that wears diapers. A drag queen, basically, is what he is.
Wow. I mean, you're hitting on all of the key areas, Paul, and I gotta say, W. Paul in the chat, I really do appreciate you. But this red line, these Trump supporters, all right, they seem to be getting caught basically being hypocrites in all aspects, right? They say they have a problem with criminals, but then they voted for one. I think that's kind of what you were alluding to, right?
They don't care.
They don't care. Do you think
No.
this is the part I was trying to get to because I'm with you. I think this country is going to have to go through something because they chose Barabbas, like you just said.
Yep.
There's going to have to be some sort of thing this country has to go to. Do you feel like we are going to have to go through that as well with these
There,
people because of their decisions?
there's only one way this changes, and I don't think people are ready for that. You have to go on a national labor strike.
Oh.
You have to shut the country down. They did this in France, May of 1968. They did this in Athens, Greece, about a month and a half ago, where you just stop working. Teachers don't go to school. Union workers don't go to school, and you stop paying federal taxes. Because
That's
I
how we
don't know
get this
about,
thing fixed.
but it can't just be. Listen, the president is a symptom of a larger illness. We have never in this country dealt with the white patriarchy, and I'm a white guy. Enough people that look like me have never said this kind of stuff that needs to be said on a regular basis. This isn't about money, the price of eggs. It's not. It has nothing to do with that. There's a reason we've never had a woman president, while 50% of our population are women, because we're misogynistic.
Oh, that's
Tell me,
deep.
tell me we're not.
That's deep. I'm not going to deny it. That's why I get up here and challenge myself every day and try to learn
Yeah.
things I don't know, because I understand that's the culture. I watched all the same movies and cartoons that a lot of people watch that contributed towards this behavior, right?
Yes.
And that's something you got to learn how to grow out of in terms of challenging yourself to change your belief system. But you're right. I do like how you are freely able to actually speak on these issues, because normally I got to tug it out of people. So I think you're onto something. But what are we going to do in the meantime? Because you said something along the lines that they got to burn their hands. They're going to have to burn a little bit. What does that look like as far as you're concerned?
Lose their job, be unemployed, be
Oh.
homeless, lose their car. I honestly, I don't
I
care.
thought you meant they were going to volunteer to do those things, but you're saying no,
They're
it's going to
gonna
have to
suffer.
happen to them.
They need to suffer. Well, okay, I'll tell you. I'll tell you how it has to be said. No, no, and people ain't gonna like this. They're gonna have to feel like what it feels like to be black in this country before they actually open their eyes. Tell me I'm wrong.
You're right on. You're spot on. Thank you, because you're saying what needs to be said.
Right.
Okay, and one last question though: what do you have to say about the people of color that are falling for this and going after the immigrants and stuff like that? What do you think that's about?
I can give you my answer, but I'm not the right demographic. But if you're asking me, I'll give you my honest
Well, from
opinion.
your perspective, right? You have an
Okay.
opinion, right? I
I
mean,
do.
I get you're not of the
Yes.
complexion, but I think you have
Yes.
a perspective. I'm curious about what it is.
I'll tell you exactly what it is, what I think it is. And I'm only saying this because I know that I'm white and I'm answering your question. I
Thank you,
believe
sir.
that they believe that at some point they're going to get an invitation to stay in the plantation owner's guest house. And every day they run out to their mailbox hoping that it's in the mail.
Oh, W ball with the Doge checks.
Am I wrong?
Woo, that is so hilarious. I can't stop laughing.
Look at his cabinet. It's 50 Shades of White.
Oh, now you did something right there, W Paul. So, do you think he'll ever? Okay, be honest, Paul.
Sure.
Will Donald Trump ever wake up and say, "Hey, to these people of color, I want you to come visit me at Mar-a-Lago"?
Maybe if they work for him. I mean, unless he's going to open a cotton farm, no.
Never happen. It'll never happen.
No.
Wow.
He's racist. I don't know why we can't just say that. He has dinner with Nick Fuentes. He questioned the birth of Barack Obama. The Central Park Five was absolutely morally repugnant. I mean, did he ever denounce what Elon Musk did? Did he
Nope.
ever denounce it?
Nope.
He endorsed Madison Cawthorn, who went down to the tunnel of the mustache man. This is who he is. I mean, I don't know why we're so afraid to say what he is. This country is a racist country.
Thank you. All right, Paul, you took the cake right there. You took the cake. All right. So if you know it's a racist country, make America great again means what? Make it more racist.
No, it means make America white
Okay. Okay. Even worse. Even worse. All right, Paul. Well, you've done an outstanding job this lovely Friday morning, bro. I had to go ahead and give you a follow too. All right, I appreciate that. I hope to hear from you again. All right, but we're gonna move it along. Hopefully, you've opened up the door to allow other Trump supporters to feel comfortable. Well, other people, MAGA, to feel comfortable. They're not like you're not a Trump supporter, but hopefully you've opened up the door where now Trump supporters can feel comfortable coming up here and admitting the truth. All right, because you covered all of the territory very
You're
well.
far more optimistic than I am, my friend.
All right, well, listen, nothing beats a failure but a try.
If you're not happy here,
All right, W. Paul, no lies detected. Wow, see, that was a breath of fresh air. You don't when people are being honest, you don't end up arguing as much, right? And that's what I've learned over the years, especially while I'm doing TikTok. When I find that I'm arguing with people, this means there's a lot of lies and there's a lot of deception going on. And that to me, ladies and gentlemen, is an indicator you all should pay attention to. All right, let's go to the box. Let me go to the box, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my goodness. All right, let's go. I see you, Cece. Don't worry, I got you. Good morning, Bounce. How are you?
All wonderful. How are you?
I'm doing very, very well. All right. Nice to see you're hanging out and checking on us in the kingdom. I know you're a very busy person taking care of yourself and your mother. How's that going, by the way?
Well, let me tell you something.
What's
Mama don't
that?
have to. I said, Mama's not in the hospital. Mama's
Amen.
doing well. Her
Amen.
kidneys are functioning because she gets
Amen.
a lot of love and care here at this
Amen.
Even though her insulin went up to $85, we at least the family can take care of that. Some people's families can't do that at all.
Wow, $85.
Yes, $85 for a month's supply, and then again, if she falls into that donut hole, then I have to cross the lines and go into go into Walmart to buy it over the counter at
Wow.
$47. So, but I wanted to say the people that are buying, what is that he's selling to come and have dinner with him, and you pay $100,000 and get to come have dinner with him.
It's another grift at this point. I can't, there's so many he's doing. He's the crypto, the meme coin. Yeah, yeah.
And so if now this is the key. This is the part that I hope you MAGA people are listening. Now you know he said if he's busy and he doesn't show up, you don't get a refund.
He said that to him.
Yes, he did. He said you don't get a refund, but you'll get that special, like it's a baseball card or something.
Oh.
You know, the one with his hand in the air when
Oh.
his ear came
Yeah,
off.
yeah. Wow.
And it's non-refundable. So
Wow.
you'll be able to have dinner with him and blah, 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 blah. So a lot of these people who have court cases, these millionaires and people like that, of course they're going to buy it because they think if they go sit down and have dinner with him, their cases are going to go away. Wow. So it's just too much. And let's talk about Miss Pam Bondi.
Uh-oh.
That she's going to arrest AOC for harboring immigrants.
Mhm.
That's what she said. But see, and Letitia James, she says she's going to arrest her.
Yeah.
You got to understand that black woman, Miss Letitia James, is very educated.
Tell him.
10 times more educated than Miss Bondi. And people have her tied up in court, and Miss Bondi won't know what to do.
Do you really want to go down that path is what you're suggesting?
Yes. Do you really want to go down that path? So the grift and the Bitcoin, so all you people out there that you got Bitcoin and Trump is heavily invested in it and all his minions and his billionaire people, let me tell you something. You better get your money now because the gift is coming. He's gonna take all y'all's Bitcoin money.
And like you said, he's not even going to give them a refund. It's just going to be, it's my money. What are you going to do about it?
What are you gonna do about it? And let's talk about Ivanka. Ivanka says she's not coming back into the political realm.
Oh, really?
Yes, she doesn't have to because she's benefiting just keeping her mouth shut.
Wow.
So she's benefiting on everything. She's just gonna stay in the background so she don't get pulled in when this stuff hits the fan by January. I think these MAGAs are gonna go berserk.
By January, so you thinking about a year, after about a good year of this administration, they're going to lose their mind?
Close to the summer, but more so around January when there's no food on the shelves. You can't pay for the double wide. Let me see what else. That, like that man said, you go into the mailbag. Has anybody gotten an Elon check yet? Have y'all got the $5,000?
Anyone gotten the $5,000 from Doge?
Anybody? Raise your hand. Okay. Nobody has gotten the $5,000.
So what they're saying, Bounce, is, with this tariff thing, the shelves could be empty by the summer. Imagine it's hot outside because climate change is real. And it's hot. Folks' air conditioners is going to be blasting. And they don't got any food.
And no money to pay for that air conditioning.
Will a
'Cause the
person will a
electric
per, will a
will come.
person will a person in a double wide trailer sweating like a pig in the summer,
Mhm.
and they ain't got no food? Will they be
Mhm.
worried about crime in a Democrat state, or will they be worried about something else? In your opinion?
Well, they'll be worried about their own crime on each other.
Mm-hmm.
Because they can't blame it on the black people. Because one thing we know how to do, we know how to make a meal out of nothing.
Make $1 out of 15 cents. Go ahead, bounce.
And the other part to that is, if they live in a double ride and they live by a lake, they could get in that water and take a bath and poo poo and TT and all that stuff.
Nuh-uh. No, you could get malaria. Perhaps you don't know what those animals in the water can do. There could be snakes and stuff, alligators.
Yeah,
You got to be careful.
they know how to survive in that kind of stuff because they're used to it. So don't count them out.
Yeah.
They know how to hunt and all that stuff. They'll be all right.
Like some savages. I mean, if that's the lifestyle they want to live, I guess that's what they got to do. If they're willing to do all of that just to support Donald Trump, you know what? I got to say it. Yeah, they deserve each other. Because some folks, huh?
And let's talk about the $5,000 bribe. He's trying to bribe women to have 6 babies and paying them $5,000.
That's a lot of money, though.
Yes. No,
$30,000 for 6 babies. Good Lord, that's a lot of money.
No, it's not. If he's taking away everything from you, like food stamps, health care, education, all that stuff. Tell me how far $5,000 ain't gonna get them out the hospital. They're gonna have to leave the babies there for collateral.
Do you ever wonder what it will take to actually qualify for that $5,000? Right? Because imagine you're a young girl, young woman, perhaps turning in that information to these nasty men in these red states. You know what they look like. Wouldn't that be kind of weird and disgusting?
Very
Hey,
weird.
Yeah. I
Very
mean, we see
weird.
what they're trying to do.
And we're trying to take away education so the black man can't be educated. So that's why he got his nose in Harvard. And because his son didn't get accepted to Harvard, he has gone on this rampage to destroy all colleges. Well, just say Lurch, because I call Aaron Lurch.
Yeah.
Lurch was not educated enough to get into Harvard. He should have had black teachers teaching him. He should have
Yeah.
had black Jesus in front of him instead of that white Jesus that y'all promote around here to control people. Well, if you really know your history, you already know that the Vatican should have had a picture of the black Jesus in there, and they told
Amen.
him not to do the picture of the black Jesus, but to do the picture of the white Jesus. So when
Ain't
y'all
that something?
you're praying to the wrong Jesus because you want that gratification of thinking that you can control us through religion. But see, I come from 2 different sides of religion.
Talk
From
to
the
him.
southern side of religion, where the women and the people knew the Bible inside out, and they knew exactly who Jesus was. And they taught us at a young age about black Jesus. Because we
Amen.
have a black Jesus in our house.
Talk to him.
That Catholic side, that's a whole different side. I denounced my Catholic religion. I was forced into that because we married into it. My mama married into a Catholic family.
Yeah.
I always was able to have that good spiritual love. On Sunday, you go down to the Sunday dinner with your grandma,
That
that
part.
kind of stuff. So when y'all sitting up here sipping and all your rights have been taken away, and then you all start marching, we are going to hit our fans, like Straight Back says, hit those fans and sit back and just watch.
So you're not going to get out here in March, is what you're saying, because you're part of the 92%, right? And you don't think that's got it. All right. Well, listen, W bounce, ladies and gentlemen. Now, because a hard head makes for a soft, you know what. One last question though. What do you have to say to those who are, of similar complexion like you and I, but they're still supporting Donald Trump? Because I don't see how they're doing it. I saw Candace Owen. She said some things a couple of days. You heard what she said, right?
Let me tell you something.
You heard what Candace is saying now. She just can't. Okay, talk on it.
Support him. Candace, stop it, okay?
Thank
Because
you.
we are not opening our door to you You went up here and had them biracial kids thinking that that was going to get you a seat at the table. Now, Miss Candace, if Donald invited you into his cabinet, you still be licking his you know what. And you would still be doing that, you and your husband, with your mouths wide open on top of your head, standing upside down, catching the juice. So, Candace, your potato salad with raisins, keep them, because you still can't come to the barbecue. And to you YT people, don't knock on my door asking me for no rice, because I'm going to make sure my dogs get that rice before you.
Hey, ow. W Bounce. All right, Bounce. Well, listen, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy morning to come talk to us. I really, really do appreciate it. And Candace, you heard what Bounce said. Get it together.
You won't like the invite coming into my house.
You sure won't.
And and my dear friend,
yeah,
you are still the most handsome. Where's our friend that he likes to deny you're handsome?
Nutty, deranged, nutty. No
His
contest.
feet are whiter than yours.
Tell him, Bounce. Love you as well. Alrighty then. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, that's my good friend Bounce. All right, tuning in and telling us all nothing but the truth. All right. Good morning, Cece. Thanks for being patient. How are you doing? Are you there, Cece?
I'm here.
All right.
How are you today, dear?
I'm doing all right and feeling a lot better now that you're here. All right, it's Friday morning. We're 5 days away from the 100-day mark. I don't know what you wanted to talk about, but I feel like it's so much going on.
So much to talk about. First, I want to say that I found another H, and it's not
really?
you, Nutty.
It's not Nutty?
Oh no.
What do we got?
But I just want to give you a heads up about that. But you're still my number one, okay?
Thank you.
But I did find a number two.
Oh, you can have as many number twos. To me, a number two is nothing more than the first loser, so that's totally acceptable. All right, Cece, I'm fine with that.
Listen, there has been a Russian general that has been, taken out.
Really?
Breaking news.
Wow.
They showed an explosion in a vehicle.
Whoa!
Just happened. Also,
when did this happen?
Santos, it just happened this morning. And also George Santos. He's getting ready to hit the federal courts and get his charges.
Oh no! How many years are they? What are they going to? What are the sentencing? What is that going to be?
No sentencing yet. He's entering into the courtroom today.
Wow. Yeah. Wow, it's a lot happening on a Friday. That's intense, right? That's a lot of intense. Trump is saying that they're going to have a peace deal real soon.
It's a lot every day, Zeus. It's unbelievable, and it's not just one; it's several things. And I think that was a body double. Melania, I think that's a body double.
Yeah.
Hey, Zeus, everyone is aware of 5501, correct?
5501. No, I don't know what 5501 is.
Oh, Zeus. It is a
Well, I'm not keeping my ears to the street. Are you talking about the protest?
50 states.
Oh, okay, I've heard of that. Okay.
Okay,
I heard it. Okay.
They are planning on being in Washington the whole month of May. These people are on fire.
5051. There you go.
Yes, 5501.
Okay, 5051.
5501. It's 50 states, 50 people, one.
5501. Okay, I've heard of the protest. I don't know what the numbers are quite. Okay, got it. There you go. 5501.
Yes, everybody.
Thank you, audience. The chat keeps me honest. 5501 Alabama. Yes.
Yes, I encourage everyone to look them up. They are nationwide. They are protesting. My friend who is going to college, he's getting his PhD. and into the science of weather.
Mm-hmm.
Now, they are doing away with some of the funding, and we have hurricane season coming, Zeus.
Wow.
And what's he going to do? You know what he's going to do? He's going to blame Noah for it. He's taken away the funding. I listened to a farmer yesterday. She
It's
applied for a
50-50 one.
$10,000 loan
Uh-huh.
for her small farm, frozen. This
Wow.
town I live in, we have a problem with flooding, and we have children that are going to school, 3 and 4 year olds.
Mm-hmm.
They're worried about it, but guess what? They voted for him.
Thank you.
They voted. You know what? So I say,
What's that?
deal with it. Deal with it. I'm not going to flood because I live in the country and I'm high up.
Yeah.
Flooding's not going to mess with me. But you people in town that voted for this clown, you know what? You asked for it and you got it. I got no time for you people.
Wow.
Suffer the consequences.
Tell them, CC.
And the American, the AMS, they are big supporters of, they are the society behind Noah. And they were in North Carolina yesterday, and they had a very good turnout with Frost. Maxwell Frost, he was there. And the senator from Florida was with him.
Mm-hmm.
And they plan on going all over the country as well, just like AOC and Bernie. So that's good to see. Maxwell brought it to the attention that all we need is 7 or maybe 8 senators on the right.
Wow.
To impeach this clown. This clown needs impeaching. What is wrong? What is wrong with them?
I have no clue. I don't know what it's going to take for those people to realize that he's actually not a good person to align yourself with politically, because it's like they don't understand that after the president leaves, all the things he did, they could be subject to being investigated, right?
Exactly. And why does he have to go see the Pope and have to return so quickly?
I don't know.
Can he not stay there a little bit longer?
WCC for that, right? I'm trying.
Find a place. Can he find a place to go visit something? Why does he have to come back so quick? And
I don't
one
know.
more thing. I want to say this.
Talk to him.
My father served the military.
God bless his soul.
25 years. 25 years. And when my father passed away, he had full honors, military honors.
Wow.
He was so proud of the uniform. Every opportunity that man got, he wore his uniform, and he attended anything that represented our military.
Right.
I cannot imagine how he would feel today, because he was so proud. And we are a disgrace now.
Like I said, I had to apologize, Cece. I don't know how he would feel, but I apologize to the rest of the world for this president that's in the White House right now. We do not claim him at all, and we're doing our best, honestly. But yeah, no further comments, Cece. It's a disgrace what we're dealing with right now. I've never been so embarrassed to be an American in my life.
The same here. I'm ashamed of America. And Zeus, did you hear about the 4-year-old?
What 4-year-old?
A 4-year-old toddler was taken from daycare, from school, wherever, and was taken to court without an attorney.
A 4-year-old?
A 4 years old.
For what?
4 years old. Yes. What is wrong with this picture? 4 years old. This child will be damaged the rest of their life because of this.
Shame.
It is a disgrace.
Shame.
It's a disgrace. And I could say more, but I'll let somebody else come up. I'm just disgusted
Yeah.
today.
Wow.
I'm just totally disgusted. George, I hope you get all the time you deserve. Trump, stay where you are. We don't want to hear from you. And
All right.
Melania, you're an embarrassment too.
Thank you. WCC. And they're saying this before you leave, CC. They say, Zeus, please tell her it's 5050.1. All right? There you go.
It doesn't matter. It's 50,
I don't.
51. It doesn't matter if it's a dot, if it's a colon. It's 5501, y'all. Look
Okay,
them
well,
up.
you got the word out there for those that are actually able to do it. Do it. You know what I say? We got to get out here and get this truth out here.
They're fighting
WCC.
for us. They're fighting for us. So
Yeah.
we've got to join them. We have to join them. If you're in an area where they are, I encourage each and every one of you to attend these rallies. They're wonderful.
Yeah.
And they're very informative. This one yesterday was about science, which is Noah.
Oh, yeah.
We need Noah. Without Noah, we have no one to let us know what's going on with the weather. And hurricane season is coming, y'all. It's
Tell them,
coming.
CC. Tell them.
We need it.
All right.
Okay, buddy.
All right, WCC, ladies and gentlemen. No lies detected.
Take care.
Gotcha. No problem. Alrighty then, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my goodness. Do we have any Trump supporters out there, ladies and gentlemen, that want to come up here and tell the truth and shame the devil? I mean, whoa. Any Trump supporters out there, because you can't tell the truth and shame the devil. Good morning. How are you? 5501. Did I get that? Did I get that right? I figured you came up here to get this straightened out with us.
It's 5051, and I'm with Alabama 5051. And I know y'all heard that May 1st, Donald Trump will be speaking at the commencement ceremonies for University of Alabama.
Oh, I didn't know that. Why is he doing that? What does he have to say?
Probably his usual babbling about himself. And we are not taking this laying down. We will be there protesting him being there.
Okay, good. That's what I needed to hear.
And the exact time and location is still to be determined, but we will be there along with Northport, Tuscaloosa, Indivisible. And so we are rallying in this state. There are also other protests on that day for International Workers' Day in Mobile, Huntsville, Montgomery, Auburn.
Let your voices be heard.
Just go to 50.1, and you can find events in Alabama, all over the country. So
okay. Well, we got that straightened out, all right, and I appreciate all of the work you're doing, all right, because
Alabama is not taking his visit laying down, so.
All right. Well, no one should at the end of the day. We got to make it stop, and we have to make people aware of the what's at stake right now, right? Especially when you start talking about freedoms and liberties that all of us were grown up, that we grew up with, all of a sudden disappearing.
Exactly. I agree, but I just wanted to come up and say that, and I appreciate you letting me come up. And
you're welcome. Thank you for coming up and helping to clear that up for all of us out here. I really, really do appreciate it. Honestly, I should have already known. I've seen it, but I haven't seen it. You know what I mean? And so I'm glad to finally get you to put a little meat on the bone for us all. All right.
And we'll post on this page, the exact time and location. When we get all that sorted out.
Fair enough. All right, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, thank you, Bruce.
You're welcome. Let's give Alabama a huge 50-50-1, a huge round of applause from Alabama.
Bruce, it represents 50 protests, 50 states, one movement.
Got it. Well, listen to that. Look at that. We're getting it all out here. All right, you two.
Yes. Check it out. Please do. Check it out.
Will do. All righty then, ladies and gentlemen. Amazing. Let's keep it moving. All right. Good morning, Takesha. How are you doing? Welcome, welcome. How have you been doing this morning, Takesha?
Hey Zeus, how you doing?
I'm all right, minus the news that I heard about Cash Patel.
You know what, Zeus?
Talk to him.
I'm really so sick of the Trump administration. Number one, the only leaks they done found came out of Trump's cheeks that go into his diaper. They ain't found nobody that was leaking a doggone thing if they ain't trying to arrest Pete
Thank you.
whatever.
Thank you. Talk to him. Kegs breath. I call him Pete Kegs.
Cash Patel need to get somewhere and sit down. They're going to be arresting judges that go against Donald Trump. And if anybody thinks that make any type of sense, then you're part of the bigger problem. You should be ashamed of yourself for cheering on people who hold people accountable and follow the law, seeing as though y'all are the party of law. Y'all getting on my nerves, MAGA. Y'all cheer on the wrong thing and you get mad at the right thing. And it's beginning to be as disgusting as you all are.
Yep. Talk to him.
I'm sick to my stomach, Zeus.
Me too.
At the things that are going on, but I already expected it because I told you. We're going to go through something. And it's going to get worse than this, but at the end of the day, Zeus, you reap exactly what you sow. So they can keep on supporting wrong, and they're going to fall right into the sowing that these people are reaping.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to want somebody to save them. And I'm going to turn my back and walk away.
Woo!
I got no lifeline. I got no life support. I got no stick to pull you out the deep end. I got nothing.
Wow.
I ain't even trying to learn how to swim. Because when I see you drowning, I can't even jump in and save you because I don't know how.
Woo! How did it get to this level, Takesha? Because, we supposed to be our brothers and sisters keepers.
These people are full of hate. They think that God only made one race, and they weren't even involved in the beginning of creation. But they think God only made white people, Zeus. And they ain't nowhere in the Bible before he started separating people into their different tongues. So they really need to cut the crap out, Zeus.
Yeah.
They really need to cut it out, Zeus.
Thank you.
If Jesus was an immigrant, they probably were going to kick him out too or try to paint him white. I don't understand these people. They swear they Christians. They know nothing about the Bible. They're Bible thumpers, meaning they don't do nothing but thump the Bible when they walk past it and keep on going because they ain't opening to get no revelation to find out how they supposed to treat people.
Amen.
They ain't trying to find out how you get punished for what you do. They just going by whatever somebody tell them and they running with it, Zeus, like they running a marathon. They are not Usain Bolt. You are not going to outrun the truth, and you are not going to outrun what that Bible says. So you might as well get somewhere and have several seats.
Amen. Hit it with a Takesha. They know what you're saying is the truth. Look at you. You didn't got me all feeling that truth. All right, keep on going because they know they're in trouble.
Zeus, let me tell you.
Good news right here.
Let me make a correction about the commencement for the state of Alabama.
Go ahead,
Donald Trump called and asked if he could speak. He's not speaking at the actual commencement ceremony. They made a separate event. And it's a ticketed event for him to speak at because those students did not want him speaking for their graduation. Why would you want to speak to a college when you're cutting funding for colleges through the Department of Education? What can you tell these children about education when you're trying to stop the funding that's going to help them get loans? And
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Tell them, Takesha, we ain't falling for it.
You just got a grift now. You're selling tickets to hear you speak. Donald Trump, go away.
Amen.
Go sit down.
Amen.
Go get on your knees and pray.
Amen.
And ask the Lord to open that dark heart and change it and put some light in it.
Amen.
You can look at his eyes and tell he ain't got no heart.
Nope.
He's soulless, Zeus.
That's no lies detected. I mean, why is he going and then coming back so fast? Don't you think he need to spend some time in Rome? I mean, like,
You ever heard that early bird gets the worm? You got to get up pretty early to get over on a grifter. You can't leave. See, I had a supervisor like that, Zeus. She came to work with a broken arm and everything, Zeus. She went to the emergency room, came right back to work. Guess why?
Why?
She was stealing, Zeus.
Oh.
When I tell you, when they found out, they figured out that lady had stole so much money.
She there keeping playing defense. So
She was there so nobody else wouldn't be able to find out what she was doing. And that's why Trump coming right back. While he lying, told me he'd talk to Gigi. You ain't talk to Gigi. You ain't talk to Cece. You ain't talk to Didi. You ain't even talk to BB.
Amen. Hallelujah. We know what he doing. Coming back here to keep up the crime.
Correct. China ain't talking to you. They ain't even looking your way. Every time you tell a lie, they come back and rebut your lie.
Amen.
So stop talking about China because you ain't talked to China at all.
Amen.
You ain't talked to Putin. He ain't studying you. You ain't talked to the president of Ukraine. He ain't studying you. You can't stop a war that you said would have stopped in 24 hours.
Right.
Of you getting in office. You keep bringing up Biden's name. You brought up Biden's name more than his whole term.
Amen. Thank you.
Leave Joe Biden alone.
Thank
Joe
you.
Biden didn't call your name when he was the president because he wasn't studying you. But every time you turn around, you got Joe Biden name on your lips.
On your lips.
Like his butt tattooed to your lip. Leave that
Thank you.
man alone. Just go away.
Yeah. He just can't stop bringing up Joe Biden's name. I said, what do you think Joe Biden did to him that got him so traumatized?
Beat him.
Oh.
Beat him in 2020.
Can't get over it.
Dog walking through a park with a pooper scooper in 2020. And he can't get over it, Zeus. He cannot get over the fact that the one he called Sleepy Joe from the basement stayed in the basement and beat the man who ran around town like he was a piece of paper on Wednesday.
Can't believe it. Ain't that something?
He can't believe it, Zeus. And he mad. He's still holding on to 2020, and we in 2025.
Wow.
Let it go, Donald Trump.
Thank you.
You lost. Get over it. You're back in there now to finish destroying what you started your first term. Just be thankful for it and go on.
Thank you. She's not lying. She's telling y'all nothing but the God honest truth.
I don't have no reason to lie, baby. I have no reason to lie on somebody who's showing up every day to be a liar, and y'all keep falling for everything he said. Ain't nobody even paying y'all no attention no more. Y'all an embarrassment, and y'all the joke of the day. Stop it, man.
WG, man. Thank you. You're right, Takesha. No lies detected. That made me feel a lot better that you said those things, Takesha. It really
Zeus,
did.
you're welcome, because MAGA is the reason we got a funny bone.
Yeah.
We need to laugh at them every day.
Thank you. And we're not going to let them get away with arresting judges like this. I think this is actually going to blow back on them in ways they just can't imagine.
Zeus,
Because
everything they do have a negative effect. I don't know why they think they winning when they losing every day of their life.
And that's it. That's it right there. I think
Where's
they did
the win, Zeus?
Yeah.
Where's the win?
They ain't no winning right now. They ain't getting none of this money back that they lost. They ain't getting them jobs back that they lost. But guess what? They feel good knowing that Cash Patel arrested a judge. Ain't that something? I'm done with Trump. I'm done.
They're gonna be arrested himself. Ain't nobody think about all this foolishness they doing. Cause baby, when I tell you doomsday is coming, and all of them gonna pay on doomsday.
Yeah. They are. I mean, I don't see any way around it because the Bible does talk about it. For those who are into it, you reap what you sow. If you plant wicked seeds, you plant that.
Speak it, Zeus.
Well, how does it go? What, you plant evil seeds? Then how does that work out? Do you get beautiful?
You don't get no good harvest off of evil. You get what you plant. You don't plant collard greens. Zeus.
Talk to him, Keisha.
You don't plant collard greens and corn come up. Is that how that goes, Zeus?
Nope, not in my
understanding. When you
understanding.
plant evil, you get evil back. When you plant good, you get good back. That's how it goes, Zeus.
That part. All right, well, that's a good way to end it. All right, but I appreciate it, Takesha.
You're so welcome.
I appreciate it, ladies and gentlemen. Let's give Takesha a huge round of applause. No lies detected. All right. I mean, I love standing shoulder to shoulder with Takesha and others who just get out here and they just confess the truth. We've had a great show this morning, ladies and gentlemen. You all truly deserve a round of applause. Another successful show. We only talked to one Trump supporter, and he was on the ropes, right? But for the most part, it's starting to get. I think it's starting to turn into. This is where the Democrats just have to continue to show up and give give each and every person out here the truth, because MAGA doesn't have any answers to describe what's going on right now. You're failing in every category, all right? And his poll numbers are tanking, and this spells doom for the Trump administration. So what does Donald Trump do? He flies to Rome and has his FBI director arrest a judge. And the judge is working on immigration issues. And I'm just sitting here going, in what planet did this actually make sense? Because honestly, if this was something he's doing to cause fear, to put fear into people, you know what you shouldn't do? You shouldn't use you shouldn't do your worst move right at the beginning of it, right? You shouldn't use this. He shouldn't have did this move so early. If this was his intention, he should have demonstrated that legally speaking, they had a good case, all right? And they should have had all of these laws right there and showed the American people where the judge broke the law. But I haven't heard about which laws were broken. All I hear is this is just like some run up in the house, take what we want type of operation, and it's the FBI doing it. And if they don't have that evidence, this angle of fear could turn into resentment, ladies and gentlemen. So, I'm gonna have to look into this. But you know what? Enough of what I have to say. I got to get up out of here, ladies and gentlemen. You all deserve a huge round of applause. All right. I want to give another special thank you to all the subscribers, gifters, moderators, and panelists. Thank you for helping to keep this so exciting, engaging, and entertaining. Without you, it wouldn't be possible. But I also got to give it one last round of booze and shame, and this goes out to all the Zeus haters out there, and they know exactly who they are. These people are hell-bent on destroying this great country of ours, all right, because they're just going to continue to prop up Donald Trump, despite the fact that it's obvious he has no clue what he is doing. Despite the fact that their 401ks, ladies and gentlemen, believe it or not, their 401ks have officially plummeted, and they've tanked, and in some cases they've disappeared. But yet and still, these people will continue to support Donald Trump, but at the same time tell you, Big Zeus and the Democrats, Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, and Obama are the problem while they suffer and eating out of trash cans. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give them one last round of booze and shame.
Silence, you MAGA.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, take care and stay safe out there in those TikTok streets. Don't do nothing I wouldn't do. We're out of here. Have a great rest of your morning. You're welcome. More truth. There's more truth than lies. That's what I'm noticing. W Little Hawk. WQ Dog. W Shade. W Edge. WCC. W Kabira. Nutty Professor. You gotta be able to connect those dots. Thank you, Diane. Make sure you like and subscribe and share the video. Alright? Because that's what this is all about. That's the best way to support the platform, honestly. Liking and sharing my videos, alright? Because we got to get this truth out here. I just realized I need to start saying that more. People tell me I need to say that. MK, thank you. Let's go. W, damn, Purple Kitty, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Alright, Q-Dog, my brother. Arresting judges. That's a new one for me. That's a new level of low. And you've had people in your life do things to you that are just low. And sometimes it really, really hurts. But then you look back years later and you feel like, and you see what these people are dealing with, and you're going, okay, I don't need to take it personal. It's something they got to work out. And so things are going to end up happening. You can't just go around arresting judges. That makes absolutely no sense. Let's go. Let's do some drill, baby, drill, and then we are out of here, ladies and gentlemen.
Harris's war, Pennsylvania. Back to what they want. They always go back. She can't help it. She's a radical left Marxist. She can't help it. But we're going to end that, and we will frack, and drill, baby, drill.
Can't help it, Valerie.
Drill, baby, drill. We're going to be drilling so deep. We're going to be, for these guys, we're going to drill. We're going to take out so much money. We're going to pay down our debt. We're going to lower your taxes. Insane asylum.
There it goes.
You know, they go crazy when I say the late, great Hannibal Lecter. Drill, baby, drill. We're going to frack. Drill, there's a black frack. There's a baby, there's a less of a
Thank you.
All the stuff, and then all the stuff to Africa. When she was getting killed in the past,
she said, I like fracking very much. Look, they always go back to what they want. They always go back. She can't help it. She's a radical.
She can't help it. But we're gonna end that,
and we will
and drill, baby, drill. We're gonna drill, baby, drill. We're gonna be drilling
so deep.
We're gonna be for these guys. We're gonna drill. We're gonna take out so much.
Y'all wild out there. We're gonna lower your taxes. Deep insane asylums. You know they go crazy when I say the late great Hannibal. Drill, baby, drill. We're gonna frack.
Drill, baby, drill like it's Hannibal.
We're gonna drill, baby, drill.
Like it's Hannibal.
Ashley. Hey. Here he goes. What are we gonna do?
They go crazy when I say the late great Hannibal Lecter.
Oh, they do?
They say, why would you mention Hannibal Lecter?
That's a good question now you think about it.
We're gonna lower your taxes.
Oh, that part.
Deep insane asylums.
You know they go crazy when I say
the late great
Hannibal. Hannibal Lecter. Lower your taxes. Deep insane asylums. You know they go crazy when I say the late great Hannibal. Drill. Hey, hello. Can you go? Hey, hello. Hey, Nicky Diane. Drill, baby, drill like it's Hannibal Lecter time. I see you cold as the days. Deep insane asylums. You know they go crazy when I say the late great Hannibal. How much do you owe? Don't worry, we'll take care of all your debt, baby. All right, we're gonna lower all your debt, and then what we're gonna do is pay off all your taxes. All right, because guess what? There's so much liquid gold underneath our feet. Keep it clean. And all we gotta do is drill, baby, drill, in order to get to it. Am I right, Sean? You like my glasses? Am I right, Sean? You like my glasses? Take care, ladies and gentlemen. One leg up, Q-Dog. Can't let him out. G1 classified information, ladies and gentlemen. Take care and stay safe out there in those TikTok streets. Don't do nothing.